guess there's no guarantees in football, but given all it's achieved and given how difficult it is for a team to go into the Premier League, and there's going to be difficult moments this season, it's just part of the course when you get into the division, is his job completely safe? Has he got the full backing of the club, whatever happens this year?
Yeah.
How different is the club today versus last time when it was in the Premier League?
I think we learnt from the last time we was in the league. You know, I think if you look at maybe some of the business we did and the money we spent the last time we were there, I think we could have done things slightly differently, and I think we've learnt from that now. I don't think we, excited's the wrong word, but I think we pushed and did things that we probably wouldn't have done the same this time round. So I think we've definitely learnt from it, and I think we're definitely better for it. And I think, the way we've set ourselves up this season and the way we're planning for both eventualities, I think we are in a better place, yeah.
My final question is, what should Sheffield United's long-term aim be?
I think you have to be realistic. I always think you have to be realistic. I think everyone knows the vast sums of money in football now and the vast sums of money that clubs and owners are putting into football. And the reality of the situation is 9 times out of 10, the level of success on the field attributes to the level of investment from an owner. And it's very rarely that there's not a huge amount of investment going into a club and they're challenging to win the league or challenging for Europe, etc. So I think you have to be realistic. It has to be attributed to the owner at that point in time and a level of funds that are available. I think where we sit at the moment, with our current ownership and our current setup, I think if we can continue to stay in the league for 2 or 3 seasons, then you're getting to the point where you're hoping you can be a mid-table Premier League club rather than a club fighting for relegation each season. But I think if we're talking about trying to be at the top of the league and challenging for Europe, etc., like look at Newcastle as an example, they're now getting to that position and they're aspiring to that, but the significant level of investment that takes to get there, is a big number.
Does it make it easier or harder when the Brightons and the Crystal Palaces, for example, and Brentfords are in the top half and have seemed quite stable Premier League clubs now, actually seem to be doing a lot better than some of the teams that have spent lots and lots of money? Does that help or hinder? Does it give you teams to aspire to emulate, or does it put pressure on Sheffield United to do what they're doing?
I think both is the answer. It gives you something to aspire to and emulate, without a doubt. I think, the Brightons, I even like Fulham and what they've done as well, and the way they've progressed and invested and built a team now that you're looking at and going, okay, they look like they're a team that's staying, and Brentford, they look like a team that they're staying in. But when you start the season, you always look at certain clubs and think, okay, they're potentially teams that we can finish above this season, and then the rule book just gets ripped up, and then you're looking at teams like Leicester as an example, and your Evertons, where you're going, I didn't expect them to be there, and they are. And it's always a challenge. Ultimately, we've just got to do. We can't control what other teams do. We can just control what we do, and that's all we're trying to do. And hopefully, we can end up sitting here next season having the same conversation about being in the Premier League again.
Stephen, thank you for your time.
No problems.